Hello, everyone. My name is Kyle Shepard,
And I'm Amanda Lippert.
and today we're going to talk to you about the transition of a digital ear canal scanner that can help create custom earplugs to support naval aviation and the greater military.
All right, so in 2010-ish, I attended the Westone course where you could take physical ear impressions, and I used that as an AMSO for many years to go out and take these impressions for aircrew so that they could get custom CEPs. And that was, a great asset to have at the time, but it did come with some limitations. And so we want to kind of talk about the next path forward and how this technology is better than what we've had before.
So, for anyone who's done a physical impression before, you'll probably have fond memories of the process I'm about to describe. But what we've done historically is use a pink silicone-like material to inject into ear canals that creates a physical impression. You may know that this process takes some training, is pretty difficult, and there's a lot of room for error if you don't do it correctly. You then take that physical impression after it sets up over about 10 minutes and mail it off to the manufacturer. There's also room for error based on the climate and conditions that it's mailed in before it gets to the manufacturer, where also human error can occur when they scan that physical impression and turn it into a custom earplug to mail it back. So lots of risk in this process, lots of room for error where the process needs to be done again, and a pretty logistical burden historically for getting a good turnaround time, which on average is at least a few weeks stateside and months overseas. So we started looking back in 2015 at digital ear scanning technology to transition potentially a supplement or replacement of the physical impression process. So on the bottom, we can take a digital ear canal scanner that we're looking at transitioning now, get a scan, and then in real time, after completing that scan and getting feedback on the quality of it, send it off to the manufacturer instantaneously so they can start building up that plug that day. So in the Auditory Performance Lab at USNAC AD, we developed the third study, this 2022 study that we're talking about today, looking at 3 different scanning methods: physical impressions, the eFit digital scanner that we're looking at transitioning, and then a different digital scanner called Aura 3D digital scanner. And we also looked at 3 manufacturers of custom earplugs: Westone, Microsonic, and MTech. We made physical impressions for 34 subjects and tested the performance of those earplugs in our reverberation chamber, which is pictured on this slide, doing a test called REAT, or real ear attenuation at threshold, which is the gold standard of measuring hearing protection performance. So after looking at the data for all of those different configurations, we found, just like we did in our previous studies in our lab in 2020 and 2016, that there was no significant difference between earplug performance with earplugs made from physical impressions and the eFit scanner with both Westone, the manufacturer, and Microsonic. And then actually, when you would look at the mean -2 performance, mean -2 standard deviation performance, which is going to summarize and generalize most likely what you're going to get from the majority of the population, there was times where the eFit earplugs outperformed the physical impressions. And this slide demonstrates that. On the top is actually data from the 2020 study, where it shows there was no significant difference except at 8,000 hertz between the 2 impression processes. And then on the bottom, it shows the mean for the 3 different impression methods, as well as the mean -2. So you can see where eFit outperforms, or at least is comparable across the board.
All right, so to summarize, we're talking about reducing risk to the aircrew because you're no longer putting that legacy pink goo in their ears, and you have the risk of, busting their TM or just kind of injuring them in general. Some people are very sensitive. There's all kinds of things that can happen. I've done hundreds of these impressions, and you never know what you're going to get with them. So this reduces that risk by having that digital capability to scan. It also reduces the logistical footprint required and the time required from when the aircrew walks in and says, "Hey, I would like to get custom CEPs," to when they walk out with CEPs in hand.
And just to emphasize and reiterate what Amanda said, because it reduces risk and because it decreases the logistical burden, it opens up access and makes things more efficient across the military. Audiologists no longer need to create impressions for users. There's opportunity now for AMSOs, physiologists, any medical personnel to be able to offer this option to get custom earplugs. And then furthermore, we can now use this process as the next step in independent manufacturing of custom earplugs with 3D printing, which we are now looking at with a 3D printer used by Naval Dentistry.
Thank you for your time today. The QR code that's on the left there will give you access to both the 2022 and the 2020 study, as well as our abstract that was accepted by USNAC and a video that was released by NavAir PAO. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.